All right, we're back on the porch for another edition of Mike Finds Things. We've got some great stuff. I got two records I found at a thrift store. Although one of those records I saw previously at an estate sale. That actual record, because it still has the price tag from the estate sale on it that I went to a few weeks prior. We got a lot of great stuff. A lot of 78s. We got 45s, and we got LPs. So we got all three in this video. Did hit some estate sales this weekend. There were definitely some good ones, and I'm hopefully going to be able to hit some this weekend coming up. I don't have any car shows planned to film yet. I'm sure something will pop up, although Sunday I'm spending the day with my family, so I'm going to have to see what comes up Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'm about a week ahead on these videos. Currently, I was 2 weeks ahead. We had no estate sales for a while locally that were any good for like a 2-week period, so I kind of fortunately, I had extra videos lined up, and so now I'm trying to catch back up to be a little bit more ahead again, if that makes any sense. Also, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave some comments because it helps me with the algorithm. I'm trying to get this video up, this channel up to 1,000 subscribers. I think we're about 870 right now. So first one we're going to go into, we're going to do the thrift store one, and this is one I almost bought at the estate sale, but the jacket was kind of messed up. But I bought it because, as mentioned before, I have a collection of jukeboxes, and I collect records with jukeboxes on it. And this was at an estate sale locally for $5. See, it still has the sticker. And the jacket is pretty well coming apart. This Let's Play Fats Domino has a Seaberg 222 jukebox, which I own a Seaberg 222 jukebox. And I also have the Chantel's album, which has a Seaberg 222 on it. Picture framed next to the jukebox. This is going to go in a picture frame, which is why I didn't mind. The jacket was kind of trashed, and the record isn't really that great. So did I pay $5? No, I did not pay $5. This thrift store I go to, it's not too bad. It would probably play, it's got a lot of little scratches on it. But like I said, this is going to get framed, get up put next to my Seaberg 222. I paid $1 for this. This thrift store still sells records for, it's like one of the few thrift stores that still sells records for $1, which is probably why people actually buy records at that thrift store. I will say I went to a local Goodwill the other day, and the records that were decent, like the good ones, they were selling, they weren't like super spectacular or anything. I think one was like a Style Council record or something like that, and there was like a Van Morrison. They want $8.99 for them, believe it or not, for a thrift store record, and I'm sorry, I will not pay that just out of principle at a thrift store, and I don't think most people would either, so I'm definitely not going to be hitting the local. I realize other areas, Goodwills have like different organizations that run the Goodwills there, and I've seen videos, people back east are still selling records for $1 or $2 at the Goodwills there, and I'm sure they're going through records back there. The ones here, they usually have the same ones for months. Most of the record guys avoid Goodwill locally. So this Fats Domino record's for $59. On Discogs, it's a low of 2, mid of 7, high of 22. So judging by the condition, it's probably like a $2 or $3 record. As I'm sure someone who wants a Fats Domino such as that doesn't just want it for the sleeve, probably wants it in better condition than that. So I don't mind putting that on my wall because the record's not the greatest. Here's one that's a really nice record. Bought at the same thrift store on the same visit. This is the same one where I got those like the Vanilla Fudge Taiwanese bootleg and Junior Walker Taiwanese bootlegs. I find stuff there every once in a while. I've been really lucky at that store over the years. I did find I found some good 78s occasionally there. They don't really, most thrift stores don't put out 78s because they know they break easily and they turn into like sharp shards. I think I've mentioned that before. This was from 84 UK press. This was not issued as a US press. Originally came out in 1980 on cassette only, and then in 84 they released it on LP. It's Elvis Costello and the Attractions, 10 Bloody Marys and 10 Hauser Fathers on LP. So it has Girls Talk, what else? Watching the Detectives, well, the ones you probably know. What's So Funny About Peace, Love, and Understanding, Radio, stuff like that. And it still has the hype sticker, first time available in album form. And then there's an old Amoeba sticker, like a really old Amoeba sticker for $3.99. Again, I paid $1 for this one. Shows on Discogs a low of 5, mid of 14, high of 32. and the record is like super nice. So definitely glad to get that. I like Elvis Costello. So that was kind of a cool find. Those are the only two thrift store records I picked up this week. Like I said, that other one, that just shows you what I already knew, was the records that go through the estate sales that don't sell generally get donated to the thrift stores. I hate to say it, they throw away a lot of that stuff, especially 78s and 45s, because I don't see these guys putting out 45s anymore. They really only have like a spot for LPs, and a lot of times the 78s get destroyed while they're on the rack, while people flip through them and they break them. In fact, there were some, I think I mentioned in a video a long time ago, they had some great R&B records on 78 at this one store that some kids trashed and broke. So don't donate 78s and 45s. Put them up for sale online or do something. Sell them as a lot to somebody who's going to go through them and enjoy them. I mean, LPs at least they put out for the most part. Although those get destroyed too, because you still get kids. You know, the parents let the kids run through the store. What sale are we going to now? This is a sale I went to the other day. Very local. It was literally down. Like it was like 5 minutes from my house, so it was like really easy to get to. The pictures in the listing looked terrible. The records looked like I was like, there's no way I'm gonna find anything good. They were like, the records nobody wants were in the pictures. Every record, there was the only sale in town that day, so all the local record guys showed up for this one just in case, because there was literally no competition for this sale. But man, did I find stuff. So they had LPs. I think they had a couple 45s. I didn't find anything on 45. And this is like what I mentioned in the last video where we talk about tips and tricks for estate sales. Know the local record guys that go to these sales. You know, kind of know what they like, kind of know what you like, because you never know. Because you know, I'm going through 78s, and you know, I went through one thing. I thought I went through the whole thing. This guy's like, oh, here's another 78 you might have missed. And I'm like, oh, there you go. That's a good one. So it was actually from 54. Ironically, there's a common theme between the two 78s I bought at the sale. Probably two of the most famous 1954 B-sides. First one we got is on Doo-tone, Earth Angel. So he hands me this, a really minty copy of Earth Angel on Doo-tone. Of course, that was the B-side. The A-side was Hey Senorita, but Earth Angel wound up being the hit. In fact, you can see on the record it's labeled as a B-side. Even on the 45 it is. This one you got to watch when you find on 78. I think this is my first copy of Earth Angel on 78. Not my first Doo-tone, obviously. Local label, national hit. I'd still like to find a copy like Buick 59, or, you know, by Medallions on Doo-tone on 78. That'd be great. This one's a red label. Now it also came with a blue label, and they also had it in a maroon label, the darker maroon label, which you've seen. If you've seen Doo-tone 45, you've seen that maroon label, I'm sure. This version, low on Discogs. This is a Discogs comp. Low 450, mid of 18, high of 91. So definitely a nice pickup for me. Obviously, you know, that's going in my 78 collection, since I did not have it. Here's one I did have. That's another one where the B-side wound up becoming the hit from 1954. It's a rock and roll classic. You guys know what you know what this is. It is a second pressing of this 78. I didn't even look up the value because I know they go for about 30 bucks. This one's pretty minty and plays extremely well. We're going to rock around the clock, Bill Haley and the Comets. Now, this is on the Personality Series label. And you see this label? We got another Bill Haley 78 coming up here in a minute. Probably in a couple of minutes, I should say. And, of course, the A-side was 13 Women. But, of course, Rock Around the Clock is a, you know, extremely well-known song. Now, on a 45, this wouldn't be worth a whole lot. And I'll show you, because the other Bill Haley's on the other Decca label. The regular Decca label is, I prefer the way that one looks. But I think this is my third copy of this that I own. This is I have one of the regular Decca label, and I've got two of these with the Personality Series. Like I said, it's in extremely good condition. Very nice. Always good to find those. jukebox guys with 78 jukeboxes want this, so that's why it goes for so much money. The 45 is extremely common, not worth as much, and of course was reissued probably into the 80s, as long as they kept putting out 45s. Extremely easy to find on 45. On 78, not so much. And guys with like I have an old Wurlitzer 1948 1100 model that hopefully will be up and running eventually, and you know, that's the kind of stuff guys with those want, because you see somebody with a vintage jukebox, that's one of those songs you just assume that they'll have in the jukebox. So in fact, I've got it at one of my 45 jukeboxes. Here's one I found. Okay, I got 3 LPs from that sale, and all the LP guys went through them, and I couldn't believe I still found stuff that I like. This one got completely missed over. 1965 surf record. I always say I find a lot of surf as we're in Southern California. On Discogs, low of 2, mid of 12, high of 20. It's a stereo version of the Challengers doing the theme, The Man from U.N.C.L.E. TV theme. This one does have a return hole in it in the corner there, so it did not sell originally retail. This one's in fact, it had the shrink wrap, but it was coming apart. So the jacket's really nice. The record is really nice. It's a surf album. I think The Man from U.N.C.L.E. was instrumental. A lot of the other ones are like covers of contemporary songs to this album. You've Got Your Trouble, where the action is. Secret Agent Man, Tammy, My Girl Sloopy, Catch Us If You Can, stuff like that. It's of course with a lot of surf albums like that, the instrumental tracks are definitely the ones you want to check out. And some of the covers you're like, the ones where they're singing, you're like, okay. Another great one. I actually didn't have this. I had volume 1. I had the normal one. 1962 stereo edition. Again, the jacket is nice. The record is nice. You know this artist. Stereo version. Low of 2. Oh, I should have said, I don't think I said the value on the other one. Yeah, low of 2, high of 12, and then high of 20 on that Challengers record. On this one, low of 2, mid of 7, high of 33. Ray Charles, Modern Sounds in Country and Western Music, Volume 2. As I said, I see the original volume quite a bit. You don't really see Volume 2 as much. So, I always like to pick up Ray Charles when it's minty. Here's another one. I can't believe they passed this thing up. Like all the other guys didn't pull this one. Because I know these are collectible because I'm a car guy and I have a few similar records. This one is from 1963. It's the stereo version. Yes, they did a mono and a stereo version of this. Has sold for $10 to $12 on Discogs. It's a car collectible as well as a record collectible. The Daytona Firecracker 400 mile Grand National Championship stock car race, Daytona International Speedway, Daytona Beach, Florida. It's got a great picture with some like Pontiacs on there. So they got a stock car racing sounds record. It's got the official results. As you can imagine, these usually didn't get played much, but these are great as like a stock car racing collectible, and people do want these. Like I have ones that are drag race, like Winter Nationals ones. I don't usually play them, but they're cool, and they always have cool, like they have cars on the cover and stuff like that, which is always kind of neat. We're going to go into 2 more sales worth of records. This one, there's only 6 records from this sale, and then we'll go into a bunch of 45s I got at a different sale. Now, this sale was Saturday. I was down in Santa Ana, down in Orange County. So this is a sale I would not have gone to if I did not film a car show about 15 minutes from here on Saturday morning. As soon as I got done, I hightailed it over there to see what they had. They had pictures of a bunch of LPs, but I kind of had a feeling they might have other stuff because they had so many LPs. By the time I got there, most of the LPs have been gone through. So I went through the 78s. They actually had a lot of 78s, a lot of your normal big band stuff that's, nobody really into. But I did find a few good ones. So we're going to start with, from 1956, we got a doo-wopper on RPM Records. It is Eddie My Love, the Teen Queens. And this was actually a big national hit. This one has a low of 6, mid of 16, high of 40 on this one. Just Goofed is the B-side. It's got a lot of scratchiness going on, but it still plays. So I didn't mind picking that one up. As you know, that's the kind of stuff I like to pick up. Here's one that it's still a little scratchy, but this one actually played extremely well. This is the other Bill Haley on 78 from 1956. We found a minty copy of this on 45 a few videos ago. See You Later Alligator, and this is on the regular Decca label, not the Personality series, which I think this is a better looking label with the way they write Decca on it. Now Discogs only shows the Personality series, does not show this label. That one goes for low of 5, mid of 9, high of 40. The Paperboy on Main Street USA is the B-side on that one, as I prefer that label. I do have a Rock Around the Clock on that style label. So that one, like I said, it does have a value. I'm guessing the standard label has about the same value. It's really, like I said, it's again not one of those that people would want in their jukebox if they have a 78 jukebox. From 1956, here's a weird one. I saw it and I'm like, that's got to be a doo-wop. Unfortunately, it's kind of trashed. Only sold comp I could find was on there was like some website, I can't remember what it's called now. It's not Pop Psych, it's a different one, but there was a sold comp at auction for $45. Probably in better shape than this one. And I think Discogs only shows it was available on 45. It does not have a 78 listing on this one. Jimmy Binkley and the Teasers on Note Records with YOY. So a nice minor label doo-wopper. It does play. It's got a slight warp. I tweaked the weight up a bit, and it played just fine. Blue Moon on the other side. Again, I had to look up. In fact, Discogs didn't even have the year. I had to look on a different site to find the year, but it's from 1956. So kind of an interesting doo-wopper. We got another doo-wopper from the same sale from 54. This one actually has a decent value. Low of $20, mid of 25, high of 30 from 54. It is the Rivaliers. I Want to See My Baby on Baton Records. Baton or Baton, whichever way you want to pronounce it. And I Love You for Sentimental Reasons, which I think was done by just about every singer back then. This one is a little scratched, does play fine. I played that one as well, both sides. So that was kind of a nice pickup at that sale. I wish they had a bunch more doo-wop stuff. And then these next two were actually in a binder. So those were loose. These are in a binder, so they were in better condition. First one, we got a 1948 Blues. I can't track down a value for this pressing. I found it on a different pressing with a different B-side. And I think both these songs were from different years. So I will read you the catalog number so you know exactly which one. This one is catalog 4758. It's Lonnie Johnson, Tomorrow Night, the Lonnie Johnson's theme song on King. This one's actually in really nice shape too. And Pleasing You As Long As I Live. And I think both were released as A-sides on different records at some point. Like I said, this one's catalog 4758. I couldn't find. In fact, when you look up Tomorrow Night, when you look up this, it shows the version with a different B-side on King. I think I might find like one silk comp. I can't remember. I did find a silk comp, but I can't remember what it was now. Or asking. I think somebody was asking a lot for one. That's what it was. Somebody was asking like 150, I think, for it or something. And I don't like to put those in there because asking prices, especially on eBay, tend to be way out of line with any sort of reality, as I've mentioned in the past. Here's one I do have a sales comp for Discogs. Low of $6.89. Mid of $10, high of $12. It's a 51 R&B record. It's one of those part 1, part 2 records. Both sides play fine. Sonny Thompson, Mellow Blues on King. I always like to find this stuff. And there you go. This one's really nice because, like I said, this one was in one of those record album binders. So it kept it pretty nice. Probably could use a cleaning, though. I did play it, though. Now we're going to go to another sale. This is one was a little far from home. It was down in Lomita, so it was a bit of a distance. They had a lot of car parts, so I like to go to ones with car parts. And the guy had a jukebox. He had a Seaberg R from 1954. So I knew the guy probably had records. There was no records in the listing. Now, this is what I talk about in the other video where I talk about going through estate sale listings and what to look for, because the sales you go to where it doesn't say they have records and they wind up having records, you usually do better because the record guys don't find them sometimes. So if I see a jukebox, it didn't even say they had a jukebox listing, it just had a picture of it. So I just said, okay, we'll take a chance, especially since they had car parts. I actually found a brand new mirror for my 69 Impala, which I needed. I needed a door mirror for the 69 Impala for 15 bucks. They go for way more than that new. It's brand new. It looks like you just took it out of the plastic. So I got to use the hardware from the old one, unfortunately. But I really needed one because my thing the head kept wobbling. So I'm going to put that on eventually. And I found some other odds and ends, a few other car parts I needed. I was going to go back the last day, but it was just not possible. The last day was actually the Saturday when I went to the sale. After I filmed 2 car shows on Saturday and went to 2 estate sales. So that was kind of a weird day for me. So I went to one on the way to the second sale. No records I bought, but I did buy a dairy sign, a over 6 foot wide light up dairy sign, which I'm trying to track down fluorescent bulbs for, which is not easy these days, let me tell you, because I know jukebox stuff as well. But I did find some records, and these, believe it or not, I get to the sale, 45s were 4 for $1. 4 for $1. So I got a bunch. So we're gonna go through them, and I put the ones that were more common on the bottom. So we'll start with the more interesting ones. From 1955, a soul R&B. I didn't buy any LPs there though. I think most of that stuff had been picked through by then. 336 is the low, mid of 6, high of 32. Penny, nickel, dime, quarter. Bernice Gooden on a professional white label Capitol record. And When I Go Away. So a little bit of a value on this one. On a 55 soul R&B Capitol record. And I can't remember if that was even released as one of these. I know wasn't released as a, it was not released as a regular issue. I can't remember which one it was. Joe Finger's Car is the next one, another Capitol promo. 54, it was listed on Discogs as rock and roll. I call it more of a novelty R&B record. Mr. and Mrs. Cockynut, Cockynut, Joe Finger's Car. And I tell you, I didn't even write down a value. I don't think this had much of a value, but it was just interesting. And put another roll on the player piano. I think it had like a really low value or something on Discogs. Just something interesting. This was listed as blues on Discogs. It is definitely not blues. I wrote down it's pop. Because it says blues on the record, so I thought it might be a blues record. On Epic, another white label promo, Lillian Briggs with Sugar Blues. This one sells for a low between 5 and 7 on Discogs. And Boogie Blues on the other side. Again, it's more of a pop record, not a blues record. I've said that before. Just because it says blues in the title of the song, doesn't make it a blues record. So, in fact, I've seen people list songs as blues on Discogs that were not blues. Here's one. This one's warped. I didn't really write a value. It's a doo-wop record. This one could probably be flattened out. Kind of a cool one. I didn't write down a value, though. Lover's Island by the Blue Jays on Milestone Records. Somebody wrote across the label name. Other than the warp, it's got some dirt on it or something as well. So that one I still picked it up. It's got a little bit of a warp to it. Here's a 57 R&B, low of $1, mid of 350, high of 10, and this one's minty. He's Making Eyes at Me, the Johnny Otis Show, the artist we know. In the Dark is the B-side on a Capitol. So this one looks like it's darn near unplayed. What else we got? Oh, we got a great one here. Here's a R&B classic from 58. Jimmy McCracken. This one's minty too on Checker. Jimmy McCracken, The Walk. Low of $1.49, mid of 6, high of 21, and I'm to blame. So that's one. Most of you guys know that song. I would say a lot of you guys. Probably not everybody, but I would say it's one that everybody knows. I'm saying if you're into like that era R&B, you know that song. Here's one I bought. I thought, oh, that'd be a good one to throw in the jukebox. And then I looked up the value and I'm like, nope. So this one's from 67. I originally had a picture sleeve, but all the ones I could find for sale online, I think most of them didn't have the picture sleeve anymore. Most of them, I think a couple of them did. Low of a 9, mid of 30, high of $149. And I did see this one, obviously it goes for more if it has the picture sleeve. People are asking 42 to 50 on Discogs without the picture sleeve, and this one is minty. I wish I had the picture sleeve. It is the Doors, Break On Through on Electra 45, and End of the Night is the B-side. I forgot to look, I was going to look this up. Maybe it's because of the B-side or something. You know, a lot of times the B-sides weren't album tracks. That's why, that might be why it has a higher value as a 45. So maybe like the Doors collectors are looking for this for the B-side is what would be my guess, which is probably what it is, because that's generally when you see a record that you know they pressed a few of that has a higher value, it's because of the B-side sometimes. It's obviously Break On Through is a very well-known Doors song. Got a couple original sounds. I did a whole video after like Art LeBeau passed away probably a couple of years ago on collecting original sound records, which usually they did a lot of reissues of oldies. Here's two I have never seen before, and I will probably never see again. This one is a novelty promo record on original sound. So promo, I don't even know if I didn't even remember seeing if they released it as an official. In the original, it's got the sleeve from Original Sound. Of course, they were on Sunset Boulevard near La Brea or Highland. Right around there, or across from Hollywood High School, if you know where that. Yeah, it was near Highland. Henry the Spaceman, Henry and Friends. This is a novelty promo record, and it's got like the squeaky. It sounds like Purple People Eater voice is what it sounds like. Henry the Spaceman and Crazy Calliope, and this one is pretty minty. Looks. I mean, it's minty. I did play it. It was weird. It's a great, like, goofy, something you'd hear on, like, Dr. Ameno or something. On Original Sound. Of course, like I said, that label's best known for the reissues of oldies. Another one, this one's also in the Original Sound sleeve. This one's a $9 sold comp. Both these only have, like, one sold comp on Discogs. Flag Waving. This one's kind of patriotic folk song on a promo. Flag Waving by the Minutemen, not the punk band from San Pedro. It's not the Minutemen. It's the Minutemen, 2 words. So I guess there was a group called the Minutemen before there was the Minutemen with like Mike Watt. Great Day Coming on the B-side. Like I said, on Original Sound. Promo looks brand newish. So I played this one, it wasn't that great. It definitely was not the Minutemen from San Pedro. Not the same thing. Okay, we got one that I got it because it's in good shape. It's one everybody knows. It's a 66 doo-wop hit. Casinos, Then You Can Tell Me Goodbye on Fraternity. Yeah, but what a clean copy. So I grabbed that. It was come on, $4 for $1. You got to jump in there. Especially in this condition. I Still Love You is the B-side. I didn't even write down a value because it's not that high. You guys know that song. 57 doo-wop. Low of $1.49, mid of 5, high of 1950. Plays fine. Oh, it has weird spots on it, like someone sprayed something on it, but it played okay. The cufflink's so tough on challenge. I'm not sure if that stuff will come off. And What You Gonna Do is the other side. Like my notes are, it plays fine, but looks like somebody sprayed something on it, like got some cleaner or who knows what. One we know, in fact, we found a version done by not the non-hit version, done by a different artist about a few weeks ago. 57 rock and roll R&B classic, low of $1, mid of 4, high of 15. This one's decent. I believe it played fine. Little bitty pretty one, Bobby Day on Class. And When the Swallows Come Back to Capistrano. In fact, my kid will be taking a train through Capistrano. She's coming back from San Diego today. Through Capistrano. The train goes through Capistrano. 59. This is a weird one. I've heard the LA version of this record before. This is the Boston version. They recorded 28 different versions of this song for different regions, and then one national version from '59. The only version on Discogs is, there's other cities on Discogs, does not show this version. They're all in Atlantic. I believe they all have the same catalog number or something too. And I can only find the Boston one on LeGrand for some reason. It is Tommy Facenda. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. High School USA, the Boston, Massachusetts area version. And I guess, like I said, I remember hearing the LA one, because I think the LA one even mentions my old high school, which is Hamilton. And they Plea of Love is the B-side that somebody crossed out the name. So maybe a DJ had this. But for some reason I found the Boston, Massachusetts version of this record locally here in LA. So kind of interesting. And he literally goes through all the high schools in like the local area in that town. I said, oh, the LA one mentions Hamilton where I went. So I remember hearing it like on KRLA or something back when they were oldies. We got another one. It's a surf record. We got another surf record here. This one, this is a band called the Tornadoes. It's not the band that did Telstar. This one was well known for being on. This song's well known for being on the Pulp Fiction soundtrack. The band is from Redlands, California, which is east of here. It's a little inland. There's 3 different label variations, but this exact label variation I believe was not on there. So the 3 different label variation values were $1.49, 7, and 30, 5, 11, and 25, 9, 15, and then high of 22 on it. So it's 3 different label variations. Like I said, it is Bustin' Surfboards, the Tornadoes, on Ayrton Records. I hope I probably mispronounced that one too. The Tornadoes. It's a really nice, it has a little bit of like light scratches here, does not affect the playability. And Beyond the Surf is the B-side on that one. And apparently this was like a fairly big hit, but they had to change their name for a while to the Hollywood Tornadoes to avoid being mixed up with the group that had the hit with Telstar. So we got that one. Going into the next record. Here's one I grabbed because of the label. I didn't have time to look up a lot of these, and they were $0.25 each. So I was sometimes you just take a chance when they're cheap. 59 pop rock record, low of $1, mid of $3.38, high of $18.64. The Shortcuts, I'll Hide My Love on Carlton. I just took a chance because obviously you find rock and roll on Carlton. And Don't Say He's Gone. So 59. We got a blues record. Wow, somebody's got kind of mixed up. So this one actually does have a little bit of a value. This is a 1961 reissue of 2 Swing Time releases. One from the A side was originally done in '49. The B side was done in like '51 or '52. It says '51, '52 on Discogs or whatever. However I looked this up. It is a minty copy on Hollywood Records. Low of 2, mid of 15, high of 20. This is probably closer to 20. It is Lowell Fulson. It's the original version of Every Day I Have the Blues on Hollywood. Now the earlier version of this label is called Recorded in Hollywood Records, and then later on they shortened it, I believe, in the early 50s to Hollywood Records. And Guitar Shuffle is the other side. And I believe both of these were A-sides respectively, like released on '78 much earlier. The 45 actually does have a bit of a value, and this one is pretty minty. So it's kind of neat to find that. Like I said, I've found good stuff on that label before. I believe they were owned by the same people that own Star Day or something. Just like you could read up on it. At one point, they were owned by the same people that own Star Day. So there's a tie in there. But they did a lot of R&B, a lot of interesting stuff on that label. Here's one I got because of the picture sleeve. It's obviously a very common one in the records in mint condition. It's the Rascals with A Beautiful Morning. Like I said, for $0.25, I'm going to pick that up. So the record is super minty on Atlantic. I like picture sleeves because you don't obviously you don't get the picture sleeve with the record all the time. Another one on Sound Records. I didn't write anything down for this one. I must have stopped going through these or something, or just said, okay, we'll figure this out. Teenage Prayer, Gloria Man on Sound. I don't believe this one had much of a value. Always cool to pick up these like 50s records. So I didn't even write down a year for that one, which is kind of weird for me. This one, everybody knows this one. Frankie Lyman, but a really clean copy of I'm Not a Know-It-All on G. And I Want You to Be My Girl on the other side. Hopefully I'll get flagged for copyright for singing it. I don't think you get flagged for like 2 seconds, but yeah, you know that song. Another one everybody knows. Like I said towards the end, I said, okay, I'll just show because they're clean copies. In the Still of the Night, the 5 Satins on Ember. Said, I don't know really much to say about that. It's an extremely well-known doo-wopper. Big hit. Another one is a 57 rock and roll record. Billy Ford and the Thunderbirds, The Monster, but it's clean on Swan. Said, and La-Di-Da on the other side. Another one we know, I think this is a later press, as they repressed this one to death. Judging by the font, I think this is definitely this is a later pressing of this. Good one for the jukebox, especially with the Sun label. Whole lot of shaking going on. Jerry Lee Lewis and I'll Be Me on the other side. I think this is a much later press of that. It's not a 50. It's not an original pressing of that for sure. Still good to have. Nice mint copy of that. Another one with a picture sleeve, and it's also my favorite movie. It's the Blues Brothers with Soul Man, and it's pretty minty record and sleeve. Originally sold for 99 cents at FedMart. Another one with a picture sleeve, a band everybody knows. CCR, Looking Out My Back Door, and Long As I Could See the Light, but with the picture sleeve. I think they sold more records than anybody in that era, rock and roll wise. But with the picture sleeve, you're going to grab it. I got a Dusty Springfield because it was minty. Bad Case of the Blues on Atlantic. And a Brand New Me. And we're going to get through, we got a few more to go, and then I said hopefully I can find some stuff this week, or I still have those 45s I need to go through as well. I went through them, but I still got to make a couple of videos about those record lots. Then I sold off the ones I didn't want. Soul Twist, King Curtis, and the Noble Knights on Enjoy from 62. And Twisting Time. This one's actually in really nice condition. Like the wax is in good condition. The label, I think because of that gold ink they use, it probably comes off. Looks like it's wearing through. It looks like they laid the blue first and then the gold over, and then the blue's starting to show through. So it's probably a common issue on that label. A lot of times some of these printing, the way they printed some of these labels, you'll know certain companies, like the labels wear pretty fast. Another one I bought because of the condition, Jackson 5, I Want You Back, with Who's Loving You on Motown. Again, these were for $4, so here's a repress of a repress of a repress. Who's That Knocking the Genies on Eric. I always grab these for the jukebox, the Eric reissues. Originally sold for $2.99 at Luke's in whatever 401 area code is. And Oh My Angel by Bertha Tillman. So one's got 2 different artists on one record, which happens a lot on the reissues like the Erics. Another one, Collectibles reissue. Like I said, I do like these reissues for the jukebox, especially when they're quarter. The volumes come back into my heart. And we're just going to go through these really fast. Again, this was $2.99 at the same place at I Love You by the Volumes on the Collectibles label. Some of these are even available, like still brand new from from Eric and from a Collectibles. I think they still have stock of some of that stuff. Because you find that a lot. When you buy jukeboxes, they'll have those Collectibles or Eric's or other reissue labels in there. That one's a reissue of a reissue of a reissue. This one's actually on Warner, so it's on the original label. You're Still a Young Man, The Tower of Power. And I guess he got the same place. It's got a $2.99 label on it, and So Very Hard to Go. It's a great jukebox double A. So I'm not going to look up a value for that. It's minty. It'll go in the jukebox. Another one, fairly common, Can Heat, On the Road Again on Liberty. It's an original copy, though, not a reissue. It might not be the first issue, but I didn't look that up. Boogie Magic. But one of those songs everybody knows. Like I said, when they're that cheap, you'll buy the hits just to get them. And I don't know why I bought this. I got various copies of this. I needed one to round up to the four for $1 thing. So I grabbed yet another copy of Whip It by Devo, because I'm a big Devo fan. And Turn Around, I've already got like multiple copies of that, including I got one in one of my jukeboxes. So that's what I got for you this week on Mike Finds Things. This was, like I said, one thrift store run. I only got 2 records and 3 different estate sales. Hopefully some sales will be popping up this week. I'm supposed to go to a sale that I went to a few months ago that I bought a car, but they're just giving the rest of the stuff away, so I'm going to hit that this morning. They had some terrible records, though. I'm going to probably be trying to pick up some. You got to watch out for those. Check Craigslist, because these guys just posted theirs on Craigslist. I'm hoping some stuff pops up this week, because it's been kind of dismal for the sales. All this week wound up pretty good, because 2 of these were literally in places where I happened to be driving through. Only one of them was pretty local to me. So keep checking. If you haven't watched the video from last week yet, watch it, because I give a lot of tips for finding stuff at estate sales in that video. So that'll definitely be a good one to watch if you're thinking about starting to hit estate sales. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment on some of these records, and until next time, I'll be seeing you.